Alright, we're live. Wait for some people to pop in. We can drive and talk. Probably get a better signal out from underneath here too anyway. Hello. Waiting for some people to get in before we go through this.
Abby's live too.
This was, yeah, I'm sure. This was the case on Eric using the flashlight at the DUI stop, guys. So the charges were obstructing government operations and interference with the police officer, or peace officer, as they put it.
No, nothing peaceful about that officer.
I don't think it's very much peaceful about many of these officers.
Oh, look! Here's the
look at that. Jefferson County has their own park rangers.
All right,
aren't they special?
County dog abusers. Woof!
All right, we got 58 people in here now. So, all right, guys. Yes, guilty on both charges of obstructing a peace officer and interference with government operations is what the jury found. He will only get sentenced for one of those, though, because they are so similar that they are not gonna try to sentence him for both of them. They stacked the charges to try to get the guilty on him, which basically worked. So it's same thing, different charges for the same act. So if they sentence him for both, it'd be like double jeopardy type thing situation, I think, because it's the same act. So unfortunately, they found him guilty, guys. We don't know how much more time he'll be sentenced for it next week. I think they said next Wednesday at 4 o'clock.
So for clarification, they brought the charges for the flashlight.
Yes.
But throughout the case, from what I remember, they didn't really talk much about the flashlight.
No, they didn't really talk about the flashlight much at all.
At all.
They talked about everything but the flashlight.
Everything but the flashlight, yeah.
Yeah, and that was the purpose of the charge, was the flashlight.
Yeah, and the judge was when he would make comments, it sounded to me like he wasn't even talking to the people in the room. He was talking to the appellate courts.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he just came right out with that. Like, yeah, we know this is going to be turned over in appeal, but it doesn't matter. We're still going to violate his deferred. So.
Yeah. Yeah. So they brought up stuff about his deferred judgment too, his diversion in there, which shouldn't have been brought up at all.
So the way I took this today is that it's okay for the police to threaten your life.
Those lights up there, there's no red light, green light, nothing. What the fuck? You know, the ones farther up there?
You're right.
Yeah, those lights are like dead. The hell? So now that they have convicted him on the charge for using his flashlight for interfering, now they can't deny that using a flashlight on a photographer is interfering.
Well, that's already been established.
Yeah, but this establishes it.
But they won't let you talk about it.
The act of it establishes it. So now they're going to have a hell of a time. You know, like when I take mine, I still have to talk to a lawyer about it. I still haven't. About the Denver case with the guy in the park with his lights. They would have a pretty hard time denying that using light is interfering. So I guess we'll have to see what's going on with that when that comes up. See, look at that shit. Is that lit up now or is it not?
Nope.
Oh, it is, I think. Maybe. No, it's not. Oh yeah, it is.
Oh
when you're
yeah,
way,
there.
when you
Whoa.
get down close to it, that's interesting. That's a weird light. You think they want people to see it? So Eric had the bond revoked on it so that the money would be returned, and the judge set a new bond on it, by the way, which was the appropriate bond that should have been set on it to begin with for being a misdemeanor, which was $1,000 bond. Of course, he isn't
Cash
getting
or
out.
surety.
Cash or surety. But he isn't getting out because the federal one is still has a hold on him with no bond set on it. As a matter of fact, some other district or something tried to pull him away from the trial court even last night, trying to, take a hold of him to take him to their court. And they're like, no, you can't take him yet. He ain't done with his trial.
3-day trial for a misdemeanor.
Yeah, misdemeanor. And they gotta do all that for a misdemeanor to prove what? That somebody's behavior? It's like, no, it's because they're idiots. They are complete idiots.
It's like, I can do anything I want to you, but don't get mad about it.
Yeah.
Right? It's I can do anything I want to you, and if you don't like it, if you say anything, if you do anything, I'm going to punish you for not liking it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, dude,
So
it only takes so much.
we should have demanded in that court that they take the officer that used his flashlight and blocked Liberty's camera. He blocked Liberty's camera first, and then he used his flashlight on Eric to hinder his recording. We should have demanded that they took him into custody for breaking the law. That's what we should have done.
Citizens arrest in the courtroom?
No, the district attorney's a peace officer in the state of Colorado. Did you know that?
I did not.
They are peace officers.
Well, they're not.
They have the power of arrest. They are peace officers under the Colorado Constitution. So they have the powers of arrest. They can arrest that man for breaking the law. There is no sentence yet, guys. His sentencing won't happen until next week. Next Wednesday, 4 o'clock is what it's going to be. So it's a misdemeanor, so I think the most he faces is up to 6 months. The federal case, I think, stems out of Texas.
Yeah.
I've not heard much from it yet. The papers I've seen just said that they were all Sikh to begin with, which they should have never been, because he was in custody when they charged him with it. So they're like, oh, we're keeping it secret so he can't run. And, well, no, he couldn't run anyway. He didn't ever choose to run. So the verdict is guilty, 69.
Both counts.
On both counts, but they're only going to sentence him on one of the counts because of the similarity between the charges, which was obstructing a peace officer, and the other one was interference with government operations. And they're so similar that they should only have charged him with one of those. But they stacked the charges so that they hope they can get a guilty on one of them.
And it doesn't matter what the guilty is.
That's right. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, so we knew that when they started stacking charges to begin with.
Well, yeah.
That they don't care what they get him for, as long as they get him for something.
As long as they get him for something. Yeah.
Just to violate his shit.
To avoid that civil lawsuit for those rights violations that they just did to you.
That they admitted to.
Yeah. Not only is it that they broke the Colorado Revised Statute 21-128, not only that they broke that law came from the Constitution protecting the media in that same sense. It was just made into a law here so that they could put a dollar amount on how much you can claim on it. So by him violating that, he also violated constitutional law of interfering with the photographer recording the scene. And he immediately did it on the stand. So he can't even deny it now.
He didn't try to deny in the beginning.
That's true.
He knows.
I think he said that he didn't know that was interfering with Eric, with the people recording him. He didn't know that, but he's a man that's supposed to be enforcing the laws. It isn't the Bain Act, guys. Bain Act is California only. Colorado has its own law on that, which is Colorado Revised Statute 13-21-128. That deals with the interfering. The one that says we can record them, that's a Colorado Revised Statute, is 16-3-311. That's the one that says we're allowed to record them, which reinforces what the Constitution says and what they've interpreted from that. They just put it on paper saying, yes, they have that right here. So when they interfere, they're breaking Colorado law. The Constitution, because of the way that the laws are, you guys know that, it's good in some districts for case rulings and not in others. It doesn't follow, but there is a precedent for it type thing. And that's just something that you have to deal with when you're playing in court with these court games. What do we got up ahead, guys? I have no idea what we got up here, but we have cherries and berries. Is he moving or is he... What is he doing? Doesn't look like he's moving.
Well, so beside this, it's absolutely relevant, but it's a little off. States across the country are trying to pass new laws making even peaceful protests illegal in some fashion.
Well, yeah.
But it doesn't matter if they actually pass it to make it illegal, because they can turn anything you do into a crime just because.
Yeah. Well, you know that in Aurora they were trying to make it illegal to protest in a neighborhood at nighttime, as in residential area.
Yeah.
So apparently they're trying to make that illegal in a residential area. So
so that nobody goes up to prosecutor's house and protest overnight.
Actually, that had nothing to do with it. It had to do with the ICE facility protest and people marching through the neighborhoods to begin with to get to it. So now they're trying to restrict that.
We're fucked.
Yeah, we are.
Hey, somebody let Gavin know that I'm on my way. Oh, shit. Hey, I'm just joking. Fucking fuckers.
One day, huh?
Yeah.
One day you might have to move there.
Yeah, we gotta get out before they build that wall and trap us all in here.
Yeah. Alright, we're heading to the black hole of cell phone service. So I'm gonna be ending here very shortly, guys. So unfortunately they found him guilty on it, and there was a lot talked about in the case that had absolutely nothing to do with the case. So when they're bringing his character in to put his character on trial rather than the charges facing the person, that's disconcerting, that they would go that far to do that, to get a guilty verdict on somebody. So that just makes things a little bit more difficult. Yeah, it does suck. Character assassination, yes. The man yells and screams at cops, so therefore he's guilty of this charge. Wrong. He still has to meet the elements of the crime, and I don't believe they proved that he met those elements. And I think with all the smoke screen that they were doing is what confused everything.
Well, they say interfering in any way. So if you're standing there and somebody comes up and they start shit with you.
But they determined already that words alone are not enough to be considered interference. They've already ruled on this stuff.
Right. Yeah. So now it's not the words; it's because of his tone.
Yeah. Now it's because of it's the person. It's the person.
So if you're animated, if you're easily excited, if you're emotional, then all those things can now be
used
criminal.
Against you.
Yeah, used against you in a criminal case.
Yeah.
So if you have a panic attack, if you happen to have a panic disorder, and your panic disorders may or may not be triggered by police or crowds or people yelling at you or a lot of bright lights in the middle of the night, and you get emotional about that, you can now be found guilty of a crime. All right. How about that? Sounds excellent. That's like criminalizing a deaf guy because he can't fucking hear your instructions, or arresting a blind guy because he doesn't want to walk around. He doesn't want to be pulled out of the car and walk around without his cane.
Yeah.
Walk this.
Walk this line. It's like, but I walk with a cane.
Well, yeah.
We don't care.
We don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fuck. Everything's illegal in this country. Land of the free, as long as you do exactly as we tell you.
Yeah, but if you got money, you can buy your freedom and have charges dismissed. So, if you got like $100,000 laying around, you can have all kinds of things done for you, I guess. So.
Let's see, you get a badge.
Oh yeah, if you get a badge, there you go. If you get a badge, you can do whatever you want. We'll pull over here before we get to the black hole, guys. So we'll finish up the stream. So, all right, guys. Arresting an amputee for not raising a hand that they don't have.
What?
Arresting an amputee for
right.
not raising a hand that they don't have.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That's a good point. That's for sure.
I mean, it's like your doctor would give you medicine as long as you didn't complain about anything.
Yeah.
Right. If you have a back pain, I'll give you medicine, but if you complain about it, you don't get the medicine.
That's right.
Right.
But they won't look at fixing where the root of the pain is. They'll just give you that medicine.
Well, yeah, if you told them...
No, or maybe they'll change your medicine from pain medicine to, Xanax or something?
Right.
Yeah. Here, we're going to put you on this instead.
So I mean, you're still going to
drug you into oblivion.
You're still going to be in a lot of pain, but at least you won't be complaining about the pain, and that's just as good, right?
Right. Yeah. Or you won't remember about it, maybe. They give you enough drugs. So, yeah, freedom just went out the window today, guys. Our rights. I don't think that the jury took into consideration the overall impact that has on what our Constitution says. What they're instructed in, is completely different. So I don't think that he met the elements of the crime, not in the few seconds of the flashlight use that he had. Sentencing would be next Wednesday at 4 o'clock, roughly. So he only faces maximum of 6 months, and he probably won't even get that. Eric's still doing good. He's not guilty. He was found guilty. There's a difference in that. There's a difference between guilty and found guilty by a jury. Because you can still appeal if you wish. Yeah, unless you're a bootlicker, you're screwed. Actually, in some cases, you can still be a bootlicker and be screwed. Really, honestly. I mean, I've seen people's lives ruined when they were bootlickers to start with, and then after, their lives are ruined and they're no longer bootlickers. So they're creating a society of people hating the police. That's why people say they earn the hate. It's because of situations that shouldn't happen. lot of situations shouldn't happen. So, all right, guys, we're gonna let you go. Okay, guys, you guys have a good one. We'll try to keep you updated as things come along.